Well, it's 10:30. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Math Strategies. They didn't put the full name on the thing, but it's Math Strategies with Games. So we're going to be playing games today and just kind of using the cards and the dice to kind of work on some math skills. And so our whole point of this 1 hour session is to reinforce math skills and to help students with their fluency. And now fluency is not just speed, okay? A lot of times when we think of a kid being fluent, it means it's more automatic. Like when they see it, they understand the math now. Versus like back when I was in school, it was a lot of just memorization and trying to be really quick. And that's not really what's helping kids really understand math. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on some games that can kind of help those kids with some of these skills and just letting you practice with the game so you get a little comfortable with it. So you could carry a pack of cards with you as you're going around school. And we all know when kids get idle, that's when sometimes trouble happens, right? If they're not occupied, busy hands are happy hands, right? That's what we always say. So we want to make sure if we keep a pack of cards in our pocket, we've always got something we can do with the kids, you know, and just say, hey, you want to play a game? You know, and most of the kids are going to want to do that, even our high school kids, middle school kids. I did some of these games with by the way, I'm Mary Belcher, sorry, didn't tell who it was. Might be good. This is my 29th year in education, and I was a science and math school and a math teacher in middle school. And I used some of these games. And I tell you, middle schoolers are some of the most competitive people you will ever come around. I mean, they never come to blows, but sometimes I wondered because they were very intense, because they loved the games, they loved the cards and being able to do things with it. And so just to kind of give you some tips and tricks, and you can even, like you've got a whole packet now of games that you can go through. We're going to do a few of them. A couple are not in there. But you can kind of go and play, like if you've got nieces, nephews, children that are neighbor kids, say, hey, why don't you come play some games and practice with them or practice with other family members. But just to kind of go through and get comfortable with them yourself. So we're going to practice some too today to just let you feel comfortable. So the first thing we're going to do, I think you've all done it now. You've opened your deck of cards and you've removed your face cards, Jack, Queens, and Kings. And I should have put Joker on there. Make sure that Joker's out of there. There's probably 2 of them in your deck. And for the purpose of our game today, your ace is a 1. Okay? We know sometimes when we play other card games it is not, but today it is a 1. So the first thing that we're going to play is called Salute. Now, have we all seen the card games where somebody's got the card on their forehead, right, like this? Okay, we're going to do that, you know, and the kids are, yeah, they're going to like that, right? So how we're going to do this, and it's perfect because we've got 3 people, you know, to play with, all right? So I'm going to ask, is it Peggy? What is it? Name? Yeah. Crystal, will you come up here with Chris and Wendy? I'm going to put you in a group of 3, and we're going to put you with them in a group of 3 because we need 3 players, okay? And so you only need 1 deck of cards. So we'll let Wendy, we can use her deck of cards. And then Kristen, can we use your deck of cards back there? So can you move over there for me? I'm sorry to break you up. I'm sorry. All right. So now, I'm going to put that one down because I did see what that one was. All right. Chris, will you stand up here with me? And Crystal, I'm going to pick on you again. Will you stand up here with me too? All right. So this is how the game's going to work. All right. For this round, I'm going to be the referee. I'm going to be the judge. Okay? And so let's turn to where you 2 are facing everybody so they can see. So I'm going to give them each a card, and you all are going to look at each other. And I'm going to say the sum of your cards is, and so you're going to see her card, and she's going to see you're going to see his card. And whoever can tell me what their card is first wins the set of cards, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so face each other.
All right.
All right, so there's your card. You're not going to look at it. You're going to put it on your forehead, okay?
Ready?
Ready? The sum of your cards is 10.
5.
She gets the card. So she's going to take his card.
Tell me what color it is.
So you got those two, right? And so we just keep playing this. We're going to play it several rounds, and so at the end, who's got the most cards is the winner, okay? But we're going to add one extra piece of it. So I said the sum is 5 plus 5, right? Well, I said the sum is 10. So Crystal, so she saw a 5 on Chris, right? Plus equals 10. So when we're in elementary school, what do they put here a lot? A little box, right? When we're in high school, what do they put? Question mark, and sometimes that dreaded X, right? That you just did algebra, you all. That was algebra that you just did. But do kids usually think of that? No. But what we're going to do is each time you do and answer it, you're going to take that white sheet of paper. What?
I asked them if I could be the ref.
Oh, you want to be the ref to be? Well, you're going to take turns. Everybody's going to get to be the ref, and then everybody's going to get a turn to go through and to do it, okay, on this one. So we're just going to do addition, just going to do add, okay? Do we want to do another practice on this? Do we need to practice one more time? Are we good? All right. So Crystal.
Use your fingers.
Yeah, use your fingers. Yeah, count it on your hands. So those are those two. So now this time, Crystal, you're going to be the ref. Okay? And it's going to be me and Chris. So, all right. I'm not going to look. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sum.
The sum is 7.
6.
Ace. Okay, he beat me. He gets my card.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like he gets my card. So I would write down on my paper, and each kid's going to write it down. And why? Because a lot of times we don't have kids write things down, we just rush through, but it really makes them internalize it. It's a kinesthetic thing. And that is just a good skill for students to work with. And so I would write 1 plus 6 equals 7 on my paper, right? Because I didn't know I had the 1. I had to figure that out. And so, and some people always say, oh, I hate algebra. Algebra is one of the maths we do the most in everyday life, because anytime we're trying to figure out an unknown, that's algebra. And people just don't like it. They you know. But do you think the kids would get this? Would they have fun playing this, you think? They would, wouldn't they? You know, you think?
I would think even my first graders.
Yes, they could, because they're going to be going up to like 10 to 20, right? And would they?
My own math and reading groups this year.
Oh boy!
Without being in the classroom.
Oh wow!
Pull them out.
Oh boy! So let's let you all play just to practice it a little bit. And how I've got some things up here. So we're going to do a little practice. So I was going to do numbers 1, 2, and 3. But I'm going to let you all pick. Since we're a small group, we'll let you have some choice on this one. Of who wants to be numbers 1 and 2. Number 3, you're going to give them the cards and let them put them on their forehead. And you're the referee, so you're going to tell them the sum of your cards. Now, why am I saying the sum, you think?
That would be the proper math term, right?
That's the proper math term, right? And so we want our kids practicing those proper math terms, right? So the sum of your cards are, and then the first answer correctly wins the cards, okay? And I'm going to ask you all to do this, and then you're going to write the equation on your paper, and I want the person who's the referee to do it 4 times total, okay? 5 times total. You're going to do it 4 more times, and so when you've done all 5, you've got 5 problems written down, I want you all to stand up. That kind of lets me know, okay?
Is this competitive too?
Can
We
be.
have to get through it as fast as we can.
Well, would you want it to be with your
No, no.
students? No.
Well, with them they
We-
would be. It wouldn't
Well,
matter what I-
it doesn't, yeah, that's probably true. But could you have that as an element? Yeah, I did that in 7th grade. It was whoever got finished with, all the cards, whoever, they would stand up or something. But at first, you just kind of want it to be fun, right? And comfortable for them, right? It might be you could not even let them take the cards. It might just be practice, right? So it's not a, competitive thing, because we don't want kids to feel bad about math, right? We want them to feel comfortable with it. We want them to have fun with it. And there's different games we can play that helps to build those skills with this. So you kind of might want to decide, and that might be something you want to make a note about here toward the end of how do you want to introduce this to your students? How do you want them to play it? Your kids may be competitive as all get out, and that might be the best way to do it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to let you all play 5 rounds in your teams. So you all pick who's the 3 of the referee, and then we'll see how it goes, okay? So use your cards, and you may begin.
Go.
The sum of your cards are 15.
He got it.
Oh, you're good.
I knew
You're
you were
good.
quick, so I had to be really quick.
That's good.
No, you get it, you stay with it.
4 times.
Oh, 4 times.
You got to do it 4 times more.
Oh, wait, do we need to write that down?
Yes, you need to write it down. Everybody, even the referee writes down, you all, even the judge referee.
It's got a little thing on the bottom of it. No.
The sum of
There
your
it is.
numbers.
Did you get it? Okay. Okay.
7. Yay? Wait, what do you mean? She said 2 first, so she gets you.
Yeah.
I know, but I was still gonna repeat it. Oh, you can wait.
Well, you did well. It's fine for her to still say her answer. She still can say it.
All right, you ready? Go.
Me? Yeah, go.
The sum of your cards are 14.
10.
That is fast.
That was a tie.
I think that was a tie. You need to half the cards. Each of you get one.
14.
Wait, you said.
Go. The sum of your card is 6. 2. You got it first.
I think we're all left-handed.
Are we? No kidding. Yeah.
Mm.
Wait, let me.
Wow.
So.
What?
She said the sum was 13. I said her number. Am I allowed to say her number, or do I have to guess my own?
You have to guess your own.
Okay, so what,
So-
we did not do that right.
So, okay, all right. Well, that's learning too, though, and asking questions.
Throw that one out. We didn't do
So,
that
so
one
we throw it
correctly.
out, okay? Because the thing is you don't know what's on your forehead, and if you know hers is 9, what does yours have to be? That's the unknown. So you're trying to figure out what you don't know. Okay, so try again. Let's see how.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. But are kids going to do it wrong too sometimes? Of course. Yes. Okay. All right. Ready?
I got it, yeah. All right, the sum of your numbers is 10.
3.
Good job.
Oh my God. My brain was not braining.
It's still summer, dear. It's still summer. I understand. So now you want to, everybody writes it down. So you want both your kids to write it down too. And if you are working with 3 kids and you have one that could,
one too? Because where we did this.
oh,
the
just let
second
that
one?
one go. Yeah, let that one go. That's okay. But we just want to, because we want the kids to have that practice of writing it, right? Because you all work with elementary, middle, or high?
I work with high school.
High school. Okay, so now yours,
elementary.
you're elementary. So this works really well for you. This one, would that be a little, we could say, now did you have the 3 on your head? I can't remember which one was
No,
yours.
she had the 3.
You had the 3?
I had the 3.
So you would write 7 plus X equals 10, because you didn't know what you had, and so it's an equation.
Right.
And so, do you think the kids even make that a connection that we're working with equations when we're doing this? That might be something that to have that conversation later. But right now, we're just working on basic skills right here on adding.
We've noticed that, like with the specific kids that we work with, that they do better with around middle school grade level.
Yes.
Wise, just because the majority of them are fairly severe with
Yeah.
learning. I do think that some of them would excel on this, but there are a few that I do think would struggle.
Okay,
a
so
lot
maybe
with
we'll
this.
do a different
So I
game.
think maybe, it would either have to be maybe a different game or maybe simplify it as much as possible.
Maybe we could do that, okay? But maybe try it, because
Right.
sometimes the kids surprise us too.
Right.
Because, especially if it's a little bit of a competitive, they're kind of like, well, this is fun. I got a card on my hand, and I got to figure out what it is, and you've got 3, and she said it's 10. Well, that would, and so it really, sometimes it helps to motivate them to want to do it too. And so, I mean, trying things, I've tried many things, and a lot of them have failed, and some of them have been successful. And so just, give it a try and see what might happen. So you can try another one.
The sum of your cards is 9.
5, no, 6.
And kids are going to say that. Kids are going to do that. Good, good, good. So you all just rotated? Oh, good job. Well done. Do you think your kids would like this?
I think they would.
Oh, yeah.
I think they would enjoy it, even
Yeah.
at the.
At the end of the year, when we were testing, it was Uno War, and it was always, Miss Wendy, we're gonna play Uno with you, because you're not gonna beat us this round. 'Cause
Ah,
I
okay.
really made it competitive, I came in there and I was like, no, Miss Wendy's gonna win.
Yeah.
And they're
Like,
like, absolutely not.
smack down by Miss
So
Wendy here.
they take it serious,
Yes, yes,
My
yes.
first graders, yeah, they're competitive, but let me
Yeah.
tell you what, I had one, which I've had him since kindergarten. So I had him last year, then I had him the year before. He would get mad at the things. So
Oh,
we were in
okay.
the We were just doing that to try to get his behavior under control.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the end of it, I could just snap my fingers and he'd hit his seat.
He knew.
He knew
And,
that
and,
he
that,
could
and that's
do-
what you have to work with
Yeah.
them. And they learn their limits and
Oh, yeah.
this.
And I have
Of
one
what?
that called me Granny, no finger at all.
Oh, how
And she
sweet.
would throw fits, and they would call me out of another classroom, can you come and please do something with her?
Bless it.
And I'll be
Oh.
like, get up there. But Whammy, I said, no, you go do your work and I'll be back. And she was,
Good.
which I built a real good bond with her family.
That's wonderful. Now, do one more, and then we're going to have some conversation around the games.
Ready?
Go.
The sum of your cards is 15.
What do we have? Oh, I see.
8.
Got it. Yeah, you were right too.
All right, so you all finished? All right. Now, let's have a little conversation around this game that we just did. Do you think your students would like Salute?
Yes.
Do you all think your students would like Salute? You think they would? Now, you brought up a really great point of it might be a little hard. What could we do to make it easier, you think?
Just slow down a little,
Slow
give
it.
them time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe use a timer.
Okay. That would be something. Slow it down. Maybe not, just kind of make it a work through it. I might, depending on your kids, because you said you're high school, right? I would take out 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
So that's what I was getting ready to say for the lower one.
For the kids that are just really struggling with their number sense, that they're just not getting it. And maybe if we just do 1 through 5, would that maybe help them? And then keep building and starting maybe with addition, right? So that, there's some workarounds we can do to kind of help us to make it to where it will fit the level of our kid, all right? So maybe take out the high cards, because we all know 9s are horrible, right? And 8s and 7s and 6s when it comes to addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Those usually always cause a little bit more. How could we change it? What could you do differently with this? Because we were adding, right?
Maybe subtracting.
Could do some subtracting. Sometimes that can get a little challenging because with those negative numbers, but now if you're high school, you could make black cards positive, red cards negative. I mean, those are things that you could do. And then the order that they're in does, so sometimes subtraction can be a challenge, but we can do that with some games, you're right. Would you be able to multiply? So like the cards that you had used, what if it was multiplication? Would the kids still be able, depending on their level? First grade, no. We know, no, we're not going to do multiplication in first grade. But if I'm working with middle or high, yes, I could do that, couldn't I? So that is something we might could do. Because if addition gets to where it's just so simple for them, but let's say you are in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, high school, you could start doing the product of your number is, and then you're using that math terminology
Yeah,
too.
I have them all, I have K through 5.
So see that you could make some adjustments depending on what grade level you're working with, right? And would the kids have fun with it? Yes. You're going to hear some noise. They're going to be talking. They're going to giggle. They're going to laugh because sometimes they're going to say the wrong number. They're like, no, that's not the right answer. But are they thinking? Are they doing a lot of math? And it's not just, 3 plus 7 is 10, right? There's an extra step. They're given the sum, and they're having to figure out what they have. So very, very good. And if I'm in high school, I can start introducing this and write it as an equation so that they see the x's in there. And if they say, well, I don't like x, well, make it a whatever letter you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Make it a box. Make it whatever. It does not matter because it's just the unknown, with that one. So what I want you to do is I gave you a math note sheet, you'll notice, and I want you to make yourself some notes about this game, Salute. And think about how you could use it. I like how you mentioned that it might be a little hard, and so what would maybe be some things you could do to make it to, because we want the kids to be successful. That is key with this. We want kids to have success. And we want them to have fun with math, right? So I want you to just make yourself some notes, because Salute is not in the packet. You will get a copy of my PowerPoint. I've got it dropped in the folder, and so we'll make sure that you get access to that folder. But I want you to take just a second to kind of make yourself some notes. Okay, how would I play Salute with my students? And I know it's subject to the kids that you're going to have in class, but I want you to think, how could you use it? Challenges that you're going to have with it, because you're going to be working with some kids that there's going to be some limitations of what they can do. But how can you change it to maybe make it more successful for them? So I'm going to give you 1 minute just to jot some notes for yourself. Well, let's not do 15 minutes. That would not be good. So just jot some notes down. And remember, we do want them to write the problem down. Do not let that slip by, because that's kinesthetic. That is one extra connection for the kid. I like timers. This is a free timer, tick counter. It's always good sometimes to, like if I was letting the kids play this in class, and I did, when I let them play it in class, I would have a timer up on the board so that they knew they only had so much time to get to play. Now, that's your call on whether you want the same kid to be the referee the whole time, or if you want that role to switch as they play. That's up to you. That's a call for you professionally of, maybe you have kids that their skills that they can't be the referee, right? Could they maybe do one of the other roles? Taking out some of the cards, maybe not having the larger numbers in there. Okay. Now, next game. Have you ever played War with cards? Huh? A long time ago. It's been years since I have played War, right? You deal out all the cards, right? And then you put out the card, and whoever's got the largest card gets all the cards, right? So that's how it goes. So we're going to do a little different take on it, okay? So you're going to use a deck of cards. You can do the cards between 2 players. You can have 3 players. So we're going to keep you with the 3 at your table. with this one. And we're going to split the cards this time between, well, no, we can let you all, I'll let you two stay together and you can go back with, now I'm sorry, what was your name?
Kinsey.
Kinsey. I wrote your name tag, I remember that. Kinsey. So we're going to let you play in partners this time. And you're going to split the cards in half and you're going to have them face down. So just use one deck of cards. Do not use both of them, just one deck. Set one deck aside. And so you can go ahead and shuffle. Now, you can either add, subtract, keeping positive numbers, or multiply the two cards to see who wins. Okay, now this is how it's going to work. The winner takes all 4 cards and you play again just like a traditional war game. Of the one with the higher number gets it. So, if I'm playing, and so I've got my card turned down, they've got their card they turned down from their deck. They're going to turn over 2 cards. This one is a 9 and an 8. Mine is an ace and an 8. The highest I can get with an ace and an 8 is what? 9. That's the highest I can get. This person, how high can they go?
17.
They can add it and get 17 and they beat me, right? Or they could multiply it and get 72. And they really stomped me, didn't they, on that one? So that means this player is going to get all the cards. And then we're going to take, because you've already dealt them out, then you're going to turn the next ones over. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what we're doing? So you've dealt out, you've got them halved. So you're going to put the first one down, turn 2 up. I just put the same 2 up. That's funny. I didn't put them under, put them on top. And your goal is to get the higher number. You can add, you can subtract. Don't know that that's going to work really, right? You can.
What's the third card for? The one that's facing
That's just an extra card you get to take.
Okay.
Because in war, a lot of times you would have that extra card. Sometimes, like you'd take, especially if you tied, you'd put down one and put it up. So that's just a practice that you'll see. So you're going to have 1 card. So that means you're going to get 3 cards. And it makes the game go quicker, too. You don't have to keep as many cards, too, if you have that extra one there. So,
Because we played this, but we didn't use the third card during our fall festival.
oh, okay.
We had
All right.
the parent and then the child, and they would turn 2 cards over, and whoever had the highest.
You can do it that way, too. You wouldn't have to turn this one down if you didn't want to. But that's, you can see in this game.
That's basically the same thing, though.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the exact same thing. The only difference in this version is they're going to get 3 cards instead of 2. And so the game's going to go faster on that one with the more. Okay, are you ready to play?
Ready?
Begin. And see who wins. Now, do you write your problems down? You're going to write them down. So I would write 8 plus 1.
Anything that you want. So you could, like right here.
And it's good to talk through it.
And then you could use addition or multiplication. And remember, whoever's got the highest takes them.
So obviously I'm gonna use multiple.
Yeah. Right, that's what I'd do too.
Yours will be higher than mine depending on what you want to do.
So my multiplier will be higher than yours.
Yeah.
So that mean I would win that, so I'd get all the cards right.
Right. So 9 times 3 would be 27, right? So you'd put 9 times 3 equals 27. You'd do 3 times 5 equals 15. And so you get the cards because you chose multiplication. Now, that's one of those things, do the kids have to make a choice of which number to use? Most of the time they are going to multiply, right? They would choose to multiply unless it's like a 1, the ace. Then they would probably do that addition. But yeah, so that's good. Good. How you doing?
We're doing both.
Good job. All right. Who won?
Well, we're tied.
You're tied?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just put P and C.
Okay.
That's the way we done it for them.
Okay. we would play it to where it would go on forever. It seemed like, oh. Now you got to tell her what you can do. She's like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They'll definitely enjoy that.
No.
so I'm going to have you all play till the timer goes off. Oh, I like how y'all are writing your numbers down. Good job. Good job.
Oh. Oh, no, wait a minute.
But now, isn't it great when the kids start recognizing that and they know, oh, I'm not going to make it on this one because I know when either way I go, I'm not going to get higher than that.
I may do this with my third graders.
And
I
it's
have 26 of them,
Okay.
and I have them for an hour.
Well, this could be one
I
game.
was thinking about implementing some of this into my time. my cooking.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that would be good.
Because, I mean, I would.
Yeah, for sure. Because, but now, you know, somebody walking in, they might think, well, they're just playing cards. But how much math are the kids doing with this? I mean, and it's not just who's got the highest card. They're having to choose addition or multiplication. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
What is the chances of that being our last card, so? It is, yeah. That was literally winner takes all.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Sorry.
Let's see who's got the most cards.
Who's got the most cards? Did she cheat? Did she cheat? Huh? Are you cheating over there, Kenzie? She got the most cards. Who's got the most cards here? You do? Did you get the most cards? Okay.
So
All right.
now we're gonna have to shuffle these.
Okay, guys, shuffle your cards. Now, we're going to stop playing right now. But now, could you see the kids wanting to continue to play this game?
Oh, they'd be like, yeah, yeah,
Would your students like this game?
yes.
Probably. But now there is question, can they do the math? But now think about, like if somebody walked in your room, they think, well, you're just playing word. No. How much math are you doing? The kids have to make a decision of what problem they're going to do, right? Am I going to add? Am I going to multiply? Did you ever subtract or divide in this? No, you didn't, did you? You're going to add and you're going to multiply in this game. And so students most likely are going to enjoy this. Now, could there be some limits? Maybe, but I would try it and see how they do, because when it comes to games, it's amazing what can come out of those kids sometimes. Now, if you see and if you are suspecting a kid is going to struggle, kind of watch them, kind of stay close to them as they're playing the game, and just see. It might be you playing the game with them and you just kind of work with them on that. But just keep in mind, we want to make sure that they're successful. And we want to make sure that they're writing their numbers down, right? So that they're making that connection to, you know, the numbers on the card. You know, it's just a representation of how many things are, right? And we're just writing it in a written expression when we write it on the paper. And so them just constantly making those connections. So now, how could we change it? Is there a way we could change it, you think?
So you could remove the high cards also in this one.
You could. You could.
So that it's easier, you know, if they're working with only lower numbers at that point. That way they feel faster.
Yes,
You know, 'cause
yes.
you want to make them feel confident.
So if I'm if I'm working with first graders, could I maybe just have 1 to 5? And would that not kind of help them to feel success? And like, I love how you said you all use these for game night with parents. It's a great thing to introduce to parents. And practice with your nieces, nephews, kids that you have. I played games all the time with my daughter with cards. We
They
did.
love to keep their deck of cards.
Yeah, just like you're keeping your deck of cards today, right? And your dice. So that's a great way to do it. Now I want you to, what?
Another thing with these
Mm-hmm.
that I used with couple of my first graders because they didn't know numbers at all. They struggled. So
Right.
I would flip them over and see who could identify.
There you go. So that's just knowing the numbers. So if we're talking kindergarten,
They got something
first
that
grade.
they can count if they
yes.
have
And that's what's
And
nice
then
about the cards. Yes.
to. Allows them to visualize the number that.
So if you're working with kids that are kindergarten, first grade, or maybe a third grader who is that they just do not understand that representation, yes, just flipping the number over and letting them identify what number is in front of them. That's a very good modification to do as well for that. So what I want you to do is on your note sheet, I want you to make some notes for yourself of how you might use war in your class with your students, and any modifications that you might need to do with that. Thinking of the kids you're going to work with. So if I'm working with high school, elementary, middle, what would I do? And so I'll let you have just a minute to work on that. And so just jot some notes down. Notes are always good to kind of help you to go back to. I know I'm giving you the whole full packet that you can always go to, but you got a ton of games now. I like the pyramid one. I think that's kind of cute. It's just adding and getting to 10, but you can make it any number you want. So you got all kinds of things to be able to take with you to work with. And hopefully you'll find something you like. All right. If you need any more time, just go ahead and be finishing up on that. Now, I had another card game, but since we only have 13 minutes left, we're going to skip to the dice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move to those. So I want you to get your dice out, and I want you to pull out. So I'm going to skip the fast facts because I do want us to make sure we at least do one game with the dice before I let you go. So fast facts is really a multiplication game. This is the one I used a lot in middle school just to kind of help the kids get more used to the facts of multiplication. And what I loved about it is sometimes my students that may not have the A's in class, they would beat the kids who had the A's sometimes. And that was always so much fun because the kids, they would be like, oh my goodness, that they were really quick with some of those facts. Now, they had to work at it. So we're going to go on. So that's that one. So we're going to look at the dice right now. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick out the ones that have this shape right here. It's going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way up to 90. So and there should be two that same shape. So I want you to pull those out of your dice. Okay? I'm going to bring you yours, Chris, so that you've got yours too. Okay. They're kind of cool, aren't they? They look a little different, the dice do. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you down here. Let's see. Oops. There it is. So you can see my dice that I have down here right on the screen. So when I'm looking at these, we have tens, right? We can work by tens. And then we have the ones. So if I'm working with kids and they're having trouble with place value, right? Tens and ones, isn't it? So I could have my kids roll my dice And so I can see that that's a 90 and a 9. Well, that's pretty good. Got 99. Okay, so would that help the kids be able to, is it addition? Yes, but it's place value, right? 90. And then I have a 9 in the ones place, so it's 99. And so that's a very simple game, isn't it? That we could play with our kids to kind of help them see of place value. There's a lot of ways you could do this. Because I know some of you are automatically thinking, well, why couldn't I just roll these and let kids use that instead of war? You know, and then you kind of tally who gets the highest number each time. There's a lot of ways you can spin this. But the reason I want to show this is very good for kids that are having trouble with that place value. Of just saying, okay, these are my 10s, and these are my 10s, and these are my 1s. The thing I like the best with those are the counters. I think that those are the best things to use for that. But just for a game version, you could do something like this, you know, with them. So that was something I was wanting to show you. So that's not on the presentation. I just wanted to make sure that you kind of realize that. What we are going to play is we're going to play Make 100. Now, there's 2 dice I'm going to ask you to pick. I'm going to ask you to use just the regular cube. And I want you to keep the ones that went from the one that looked like the 10s but was just 1s. And how you're going to play this is you're going to take turns rolling dice using those 2 only. We're going to keep the others to the side. Because, you know, depending on how difficult you want to make it, you can look at some of those. You could use the others and make it a lot harder, right? Because the numbers go higher. And we're going to roll the 2 dice. You're going to take a turn. You're going to roll your 2. And you're going to either add, subtract, multiply, or divide the 2 numbers. And you're going to keep a running total of what you have. Then your partner is going to roll the dice, and they're going to choose to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Now, in this game, you will choose to divide sometimes because you don't want to go over 100. Well, that's something we got to talk about. Can they go over 100 to begin with? Because it's kind of hard to land right on 100 with this game. So the first one to 100 or over wins. But like when they start getting really good on it, give them another challenge and say you have to hit 100. And that makes it a whole different game because if you can't go over it. So let's play just a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to practice. Player 1 begins. You're going to roll the 2 dice. You're going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. You're going to write it on your equation on the white paper. And you're going to keep up with your total. You're going to keep adding your answers. Player 2 takes their turn, then you all are only going to be 2 players instead of 3. And we're going to let you keep doing this until somebody gets over 100. Okay? Now, if that gets too easy, the next thing is you got to try to land on 100. If you go over 100, you bust and you go back to 0. So that's another version of it that you could do. So first we're just going to see who can get to over 100 to begin with, okay, with rolling. All right, take turns.
Do we roll twice?
You're just going to roll once.
Okay.
You're going to roll both of them at the same time. This is good for fine motor skills too for our little ones. And so you're going to roll yours. You're going to multiply, add, subtract, or divide.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your turn.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Ooh. It can go pretty quick. Do you have any questions? It's a competition. Now you could, I like that as a modification. Maybe you don't want to make it a competition. Maybe you want them working together. Could do it that way too. I'm all about being team players. But if you wanted to do that, you could do that. But a lot of times it's looking at a competition of who can.
A lot of the standards implement teamwork.
Yes. So you might want to make it, so you may want to say, you're all going to work together and you all try to make it to 100, with that. And then that's more of a
My
team.
big group, I could split them up and
Mm-hmm.
let them work as a team, but yet be competitive.
With the whole group.
With the
Yeah,
other
this team is competing against that team.
Yeah.
Right, but you're a team. You
Yep.
could do that. That's a good spin on it. I like that.
I'm gonna keep a running total, 'cause I'm not gonna total them all at one time, so I'll keep going. Which is really cool, because like when I rolled the 7 and the 2, they were gonna have to figure out if I do, I'm sorry, the 2 and the 1, if I do 2 times 1, it's gonna be 2. But if I do an addition, I can get a bigger number.
Exactly.
So
You
that's
can.
good for them.
That's a good math strategy, isn't it? That you kind of figure out.
that.
Isn't that nice?
4 times 2 is 8.
Y'all gonna go out and say that woman made us do math. It's like she made us do math. Don't go to her. I love math too. I love math. I love it.
2 is 8. Yeah, that was a good one.
Well, I like that. That was a good one. So there's something about that roll that made it a big old number, huh? I love it. All right, that is time. Now, what I love about when we do this with our students, they'll look and go, "Oh, are we done? I want to play some more," right? That a lot of times.
Though, right? Because we're trying to
wanna
get
get
exactly
over
100.
Well, you can go. This first round, we're trying to just get over 100.
So you did win that one.
But like as your kids get really good at this, to add an extra challenge, say, if you go over 100, you bust and you have to go back to 0. Is what you can say. And then you're going to see them racking their brain and doing some division, okay, at that point, and subtraction, because they're not going to want to go over 100. They want to get right on it. So that's another thing that you can do. So do you think students would enjoy this game with the dice? Do you think
Yes.
they'd like that all right? Yeah. Now, let's talk about if you're working with first grade. I wouldn't have them go over 100. They'd go to 20, right? And I would use the smaller dice that just have like the 6 sides and not as many numbers. And I would just have them add, right? Because they're not going to multiply. So you got to kind of think about, how am I going to make this work for my kids? So how could you change it?
Well, they could do fractions, you can play to the lowest fraction.
Yeah.
So I've got a 3 and a 4, so they're gonna
Oh,
make sure you reduce it down as low as you can, and whoever
Right.
gets the lowest at the end of 10 rolls or whatever you do.
that's awesome.
It's
Yes.
good for them on the front, because they're really weak in that area.
Yes, so that would be a great way to use this, right, too. So make yourself some notes on how could I use the dice to be able to do some modifications for my kids. So yes, fractions, decimals. Hello, you could do a lot of things with these. Now, there's more games in your packet for you to be able to go through and look at and to figure out with this. So I want you to go on your math note sheet, and I want you to make yourself some notes. I'm going to give you a minute to jot some notes down of how can I use the dice of make 100. And remember, we did a variation. We talked about variations of you could go to 100, or you could actually make them get to 100. They have to land on 100, not go over it. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to do that. Not that one. So just jot down some thoughts on that one. And you get to keep the dice, you get to keep the cards. Those are yours. I got you a little sandwich bag because I didn't want dice all over the hallway, making it look like what we're doing back here. I don't know. They put me back here with all my friends. All by myself I am. So me and my friend, myself here on this one. Here you go. You can say thank you. All righty. Now, what I was going to do is let you then have a choice. Like there was a whole, I usually try to over plan, and I recommend that you do that as well. Always try to have more because you don't ever want to idle. And now you've got a pack of cards and you've got dice with you that you can keep with you all the time. And so if there ever is, and it actually will get to where kids will say, hey, can we play, they would ask me, can we play Math Facts? Because that was the multiplication game that we didn't get to play. They may ask, can we play Salute? Because they love putting the card on their head. I don't know why, but they do. It's fun for them. They like it. So always keeping your cards, your dice handy to where, hey, if you've got some time, play some games with them and work. But remember, have them write the problems down because that is a kinesthetic thing. It's going to help them see the connections more and more between what they're seeing on those cards or on the dice and how that's working in their math class. I do want to make sure that you have access to the link to your participant folder. So all the papers, there's a digital copy in there of your math games. There's a digital copy, like if you like the math note sheet that you might want to have your kids have a copy of to make notes on. There's 2 different sheets. There's on the front and on the back. And just so that you have those. And then all the other sessions, they're going to have their materials in there too by the end of the day or by tomorrow so that you have digital copies too. But it has been a pleasure, and I promised you I would let you go a little early so you could since we are the farthest from lunch. Be sure to give us feedback at the end of the day to let us know how we can make our sessions better. But I hope you enjoyed it.